Welcome, everyone. What is going on? We are the Honolulu Blues Show. I'm your host, Adam. Joined with me today, we got Julius, thankfully, and my boy Nick. So, what is going on, guys? We took a little week hiatus due to some kind of unexpected turns, but Julius, I don't know if you want to get into any of that, but you kind of take it off, Julius, on why we
Yeah.
week.
How you doing, boys? Glad to be here. I got a pretty scary car accident for all those listeners that don't know. Luckily, I escaped with only a few bumps and bruises. I got very lucky. It was a pretty bad accident. One person died. I got links on Twitter. You can look into it if you want. I'm not going to go too far into it, but guess what? I'm alive. I'm here. I'm ready to talk Lions. And if I got any advice for you guys out there, just make sure you wake up every day, be gracious to be alive, and do the best you can, and just live. Just live, guys.
Yeah, amen to that, my man. But Nick, we also got you, and man, I'm liking this background you got here. You complimented Julius last week on the Calvin Johnson Lidstrom, so I see you trying to one up with the old Stafford, couple pennants. Oh, don't tell me that's Eric Ebron.
Eric Ebron.
I don't think that's gonna one up the Nick Lidstrom, but the Stafford is
behind my head.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect spot for that. But today we got a little special episode for you new listeners. We're just going to be breaking down just kind of, some Lions stuff that we like, our favorite Lions memory. And then we're going to get into some, actual Lions topics and news. One being the Lions announced full capacity, no masks for Ford Field. We are rocking and rolling. So, boys, let me ask you this. What is the one ideal game on the schedule that you guys want to go to?
What a great question. I don't even have the schedule pulled up. Like, my immediate thought is just like San Francisco game one. Like, put me right in there. Game one. Obviously, I would say the Rams, but they're not going to be home. Someone go. Julius, you got to go so I can get the schedule pulled up.
I was just going through the schedule in my head as well, and I was thinking San Francisco week one at home, 100% capacity for the first time in 2 years. It's going to be lit.
Yeah,
but it's hard to always, Thanksgiving, Detroit, Chicago, that pops in my head. Of course, Detroit, LA, Rams, Stafford, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to that game? But we're talking home games or away games. But
home, obviously, yeah. Home.
Of course, home. Okay, so
I would love to travel to Los Angeles, but
I mean, home opener in San Francisco, like I said, it's just going to be the atmosphere that you want to be at. That's probably my pick.
Fair, yeah. The home opener is always a good one. Nick, you mentioned the Thanksgiving game. That one's always, no matter how bad the Lions are, I think everyone can always count on, and it's somewhat enjoyable Lions Thanksgiving game, at least the first half. But for me, I'm wanting to see Lamar Jackson play. I mean, I'm a huge Michael Vick fan. So I've seen Vick play a few times in person, and I want to see Lamar play. I mean, I know he's got the wheels, he's got the legs, but still not 100% sold on him being the greatest running quarterback of all time. I still think that belongs to Mike Vick, but I'm going to have to check it out. So the Ravens game, I would say, would be a fun one to go to.
I leave it up to Adam to throw everyone through a loop with the first question. Just like the schedule. Wait a minute, I haven't thought about that in months now. Wait a minute, let me see who we're even playing. I'm going to stick with my original answer, which is game one against San Francisco. And I was trying to think of a good reason, and then Julius said it for me. He's like, that's the first game in 2 years that you're going to see. Ford Field will literally be doing like jumping jacks. Like, it's going to be bouncing up and down. It's going to be so nuts. Win or lose, the fans are going to be wild, and I would love to go to that game.
Yeah, I think that does add a little extra pizzazz, just being the
just
first.
A little, because you know what, we're like the season's still alive. We're 0-0.
That too, yeah, that too.
We can go 17-0.
Yeah, that, and then the fact that nothing like this has ever happened where like fans weren't allowed to go for an entire season. I mean, there's been, terrible Lions seasons where fans like legit just didn't want to go. But this year or last year, it's was different. It will definitely be a different fun time, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be rocking and rolling. So without further ado, let's jump into, just getting to know the crew. So favorite Detroit Lion. I mean, we've had a few, Barry, Calvin, probably the two biggest come to mind. But who are your guys' favorite Detroit Lion all time?
I can jump in, and I've said it many times. We even interviewed him, Adam, my man, just Mr. Mike McMahon. I even tweeted about him today. 61 days left, so I had to tweet out his 6.1 yards per carry on his only win as a Detroit Lion. He might only have one win as a Lion, 1-6, I believe, 10 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Never great, but man, I was a young kid. And I got to see him live at training camp, my first ever training camp. He signed his rookie holographic card I had of him, and took a picture with me, my cousin. He was just an all around great dude. He was a rookie too, right out of Rutgers. It just brings me back to child. It's like watching an old movie. Watching his highlights is just puts you back in. Watching The Sandlot, and all of a sudden you're 10 again. You know what I mean? And so. I love Mike McMahon. As he might not be a household name, but he is my absolute favorite player.
100%. He had an awesome interview with us. If you guys want to go try to find that, it's on, I want to say, Lions Brawl podcast, but
I don't even know where you find it anymore. But great friend of the show. We can say great friend of the show, Mike McMahon.
That too. Hopefully we'll be able to get back on, though. He did say he would come back on anytime, so that is something that we will likely pursue in the next, coming weeks. But Julius, who is your top Lion of all time?
My favorite Lion of all time is none other than the legend, one of my idols as a teenager and growing up in the city and being a fan of the Lions, Calvin Johnson, Megatron. I mean, I just loved watching him play, and I love that he played for our team. Just one of the most physically dominating forces the league has ever seen. I have his jersey right behind me. I have multiple jerseys of him, actually. And I just think he was a great guy, a great professional, and I cannot wait until the Lions renew ties with him. And, all this beef that's going on between Calvin and the organization, I can't wait until it's squashed and everything's cool. I'm hoping with the new regime, with the new management in town, the way they like to do things, I hope they bring Calvin back to Ford Field sometime soon, and I will try to make that trip. That's a game I want to be to. I think I mentioned that on the show before. That's just how much I idolize and adore Calvin Johnson, the Detroit
Lions. You
Lions.
guys imagine if somehow Sheila pulled the strings, made it happen, Calvin Johnson week 1 halftime appearance.
It's going to be the loudest Ford Field.
Ford Field would explode. It would explode. It would honestly feel as close to playoff atmosphere as you could get, probably, for a Lions fan.
You know what? It would remind me of when Ben Wallace came back to the Pistons after he retired. And not when his playing days. I'm talking about after he retired and got the love from the Detroit Pistons fan base that he deserved.
And then look at the good karma. He does the draft and he gets a first overall pick.
Ben Wallace is the godfather of Detroit sports, man.
Yes, sir, man. But Julius, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Megatron, he's got to be my favorite too. He just made so many stupidly awesome plays where you're just like, did he just do that? No way. Come on now. And he was just so much fun to watch. But I will say, honorable mention to, of course, Barry Sanders. And sadly, I never got a chance to watch him play live. I'm sure you guys did, but I'm just a little bit too young, unfortunately. But, oh, man, we posted a little quick highlight video of Barry, and some of his cuts are just incredible, man. The way he would just be running so fast and just go left, right, and straight, and it's just boom, 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 all one little motion, and he's gone. It was just wish I could have watched that guy.
Do you know how he got so good at cutting like that?
No, is there?
When he was young, he was told that he had to go get the chickens. But he couldn't bring them in. He had to catch the chickens.
Rocky.
So he would run around and try to catch. If you ever tried to catch a chicken before, it is one of the hard. Those they're fast and they jump and they cut. And now it might be an old wise tale, but I'm pretty sure there's some accuracy towards it.
Hey man, you know
he would jump in.
that goes along with the Jerry Rice catching bricks, old stories we've heard. How his dad would toss bricks to him barehanded, say, "Here you go, son, catch." If you don't catch it, you're getting hit. So he had to catch those. So yeah, I get the Barry. That totally makes sense because you're cutting and trying to get down and yeah. But Barry Sanders, absolute freak. The dude was one of a kind. Not to mention, not just for the Lions, but for Oklahoma State too. That one season he had where he posted I want to say it was 150 yards average and 2-3 touchdowns or something ridiculous. Oh my goodness, that was insane. So
42 touchdowns that year, just outstanding.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. But moving on, first Detroit Lions jersey. I'm going to take it away. My first Lions jersey I got was a black Roy Williams jersey. I wore it for probably a full week straight. I remember I loved it so much, but honestly, I knew who he was. I knew the player was, but I didn't watch him a whole ton just because I was so young. I was probably 7 or 8 at the time. And oh man, I loved the jersey though, because it was my first ever football jersey. I was never take this off. This is awesome. And Roy Williams, he wasn't terrible for the Lions. He was respectable. So it wasn't, at least it wasn't a terrible bust jersey like a Joey Harrington or something like that. But Nick, who was your first Detroit Lions jersey?
Before I answer that, Adam, you make me feel so old when you talk about being young like that. You're like, Marvin Jones, yeah, I think he was around when I first started watching football. I think I remember him. Oh my gosh, Adam, golly. I couldn't believe that. My first jersey ever was a Luther Ellis jersey. I remember getting it for Christmas from at the grandparents. I don't remember who got it for me. Same thing. Didn't take it off. Me, my 2 other cousins, we all got Lions jerseys, different ones. And that was the one I rocked. Barry Sanders soon followed right after that. After I realized how awesome jerseys were, that's all I ever asked for. So then I got jerseys coming after that. But Luther Ellis, number 1, defensive end. Adam, you probably weren't even alive when he played, so I don't even know if you know who he is. But solid pass rusher who teamed up with Robert Porcher. And a pretty dynamic defensive.
I think he made one Pro Bowl. Kevin Ellis. He was good. He had a good 3 or 4 year stretch with Detroit.
Yep.
Well, another stud defensive lineman for the Lions, just to bring up a random stat, is Bubba Baker. Why I bring him up is because Pro Football Stats, I think Pro Football Focus. Yeah, I think it's Pro Football Focus. One of the big football stats companies last couple of days, changed their records to go back to 1970 for total sacks, because that wasn't recorded till 1980, or maybe it was 1982. That's when it was. In 1980, Bubba Baker hit the record, rookie year, 23 sacks, topping Michael Strahan's 22 and a half. He did it in, I think, 2007, 8, something like that. But anyways, Bubba Baker unofficially owns the record for most sacks in a season. He was just 2 years before when they started to record sacks. So it's not it was 20 years before it's some, crazy fluke season. So 23 sacks, rookie season. Hats off to Bubba Baker, one of the legends for the Lions.
It makes no sense to me why 1982 was the year they started. It's the same thing. The Lions won all these championships in the late 50s. And then in 61, they're like, we're going to go to the Super Bowl now. And you've never won one. And everyone will make fun of you. And it's but we were winning championships just before you decided to just rename this. And obviously the Super Bowl is a little different. But sacks, it comes in as a stat in 1982. And in 19, they were like, no one has ever sacked a quarterback before. We're not gonna go.
Real. It's not like a sack wasn't a important or cool type of stat. The defenders were like, I tackled the quarterback 3 times today or something they bragged about it.
Absolutely. So. Isn't Bubba Baker a Michigan State boy too? Or am I wrong?
Maybe.
I thought he was a Michigan State boy too, and I was gonna say
I'm not a Michigan State boy, so I wouldn't know, but maybe.
I'm the only Michigan State boy here.
No, he's not. He went to Washington. He went to
Okay, I was
Washington.
wrong. I must be thinking of Bubba Smith. I can't remember who I'm thinking of. Regardless, he definitely deserves to have his name in the record books for most sacks all time. Like, the NFL needs to go back and like
Change
register that if they have all the games video, like all the games were videotaped. Like, it's not like it was 1931, like Adam said. It's not like you were like sketching out the games as it happened. Like, there is video proof of this. I'm quite positive. So I don't think it'd be that hard. NFL Films has tape that goes back. They like to, Johnny Unitas. So I don't understand why he is not in the record books, but I'm glad there's some buzz, and hopefully one day they'll actually recognize it.
Yeah, for sure. Julius, all right, first jersey ever. Who was it?
My first Lions jersey, actually, if I believe correctly, I didn't have many jerseys as a kid. I just couldn't afford them. But I do remember having one Lions jersey around 2001, and I believe it was Joey Harrington. And I only had it for 1 year. It was a pretty fake, cheap kind of jersey, too.
Oh,
Got faded. I outgrew it, hit a growth spurt. Joey Harrington bombed out, and I never wore it again. So there you go. Short story.
I love it. Love it. Hey, it's the line support that counts. So nonetheless, we all got a favorite Lion memory. So mine was pretty cool. I got a chance to go down to a Lions practice. My dad won an auction to go down with Dan Miller, actually, and he would show us around, and he kind of got us not like backstage, but like behind the ropes to where like you could actually like high five players, talk to them, and sure enough, he got Jim Schwartz come over to talk to us. He talked to us. Jim Schwartz was honestly probably not like the coolest, but like the nicest, because he genuinely spent like 10 to 15 minutes just talking to me and my dad about Lions, thanking us for, because it was a charity auction that he won. So thanking us for that. And it was just a cool experience. And then we got to meet Calvin Johnson. And I want to say I was like 14, 15 at the time. And I will legit never forget meeting Calvin Johnson. He was just such a big guy. I remember on spikes too, he gets an extra inch or two. He's coming walking on concrete, and he's just this Megatron, gigantic dude. And you're like, oh my God, sticks out his hand, nice as can be. He says, hi, it's Calvin Johnson. I'm like, I know, I'm Adam Stark. And biggest hand ever. Like, his hand would, like, it swallowed my hand. I felt like it was gigantic. And he was a cool guy, took a picture with us, but that was it. So then we also met Matthew Stafford and No, we didn't. We didn't meet Matthew Stafford. That was the next time, because we did that same thing again. The next year we met Matthew Stafford, and then we didn't meet Calvin Johnson. But the whole funny part about the first trip was Ndamukong Suh was walking by, and this was the season, the season after he got suspended for the stomp and all this, and everyone was like, he's a villain, bad guy, and people were like, Sue, come over, Sue, and he wouldn't touch the media. He was like, nuh-uh, I'm going locker room, football field, and he like didn't look nothing. So understandable. And then finally, Nate Burleson came over, and he talked to us for a few minutes, and he was cool. And just seeing him, and his personality grow on me, that just makes that memory even more fonder. So, Julius, I'll let you take it away this time, since Nick's been leading off lately. But Julius, what is your top Detroit Lions memory?
My top Detroit Lions memory connects with my father, my late father, who passed last summer. My beloved father. We went to a game. They clinched the playoffs against the Chargers at home at Ford Field. I believe it was 2015, but I have to check on that. I believe it was the year they lost to the Saints, or I don't recall. I have to look back, but they clinched at home against the Chargers. It was the 11-5 season, so it was the Cowboys season that they lost. It was the game they lost to the Cowboys. They clinched against the Chargers at home, and the whole crowd was yelling playoffs, Super Bowl, Lions Kool-Aid, and me and my dad were yelling it right along with them. And that was the last time I remember seeing that many Lions fans that happy about having a winning team, and I just think about we could have beat the Cowboys that year. It would have been great, but that was the best Lions team of my lifetime. Not my life. That was the best Lions team of my adulthood, and I got to share that moment with my father at Ford Field. And they blew out the Chargers too. It was just it was my fondest memory as a Lions fan, personally, as a personal experience of mine.
Yeah, don't sounds like a good time, man. Definitely anything, with your dad's always memorable too. So, Nick, what has been your top Detroit Lions memory?
Oh man, you guys both had some great memories. That's awesome for both of them. I have too many memories. I don't even know.
I know
there's so many memories. Like one of my absolute favorite memory. I was gonna say a couple honorable mentions, but I just shouldn't even get into that. 2016.
We got the Mike McMahon one.
The Mike, like I've gone through like the Mike McMahon one, like the getting that card signed, thinking if he actually would sign it, like calling him over, that was awesome. That whole training camp was awesome. It was a great time. My favorite memory though is I'm piggyback with Julius, with my dad, my stepmom, my brothers and sisters, my fiance, everyone having this great time. So we go for Thanksgiving. We decided to go for Thanksgiving. I've never been to a Thanksgiving game before. It's always so expensive, and I would never pay that much money to go to a Thanksgiving game. As fun as it is, I just wouldn't do that. Well, we go. We buy the tickets. We bring everyone. We do like a Thanksgiving like dinner, tailgate, and it's just the best like food, and we're drinking. Me and my dad are getting drunk as could be. And when they go into the game's low scoring. I believe it's like 13-13 or 13-13 with like 30 seconds to go, or maybe 14-13 Vikings with like 30 seconds to go. And Case Keenum backed up and threw a ball picked off by Darius Slay. Ball shouldn't even ever even been thrown. Like they should have just been running it. Like, I don't know. They tried to get tricky on third down. They threw it. Slay jumped the route, picked it off. Right. 24 seconds ago, ball on the 50 now. Matt Stafford, Matt Prater, no problem. Stafford gets him 20-30 in, and all of a sudden Prater hits this game-winning field goal, and I still have video of it. The field goal goes, and everyone freaks out. Just the best experience, like to see everyone freaking out, jumping up and down, top notch. I don't think that memory will ever be like recreated.
Now you guys got me thinking about all my stadium memories. Mine was a, meet and greet fan type deal. Now all these, memories are coming back that I want to share. But we got
time. We got time. Give us your best stadium memory.
Honestly, I'm trying to think. We had season tickets for a year, and it was the first, honestly, that whole year, I'll say is like just to group it together, because that whole year was just so different, so special, because I'd never had season tickets to anything. And my dad got them, and he pretty much like only got one is how it kind of worked. Like we had one for every game and then two for some games. So literally every game I drove down there, and it was just like me going down the Lions games, being in that atmosphere, and just some of the games that they would win was just like, oh, it was so awesome. And some of Stafford's comeback wins, it was just
love it.
A lot of memories, a lot of good memories in Ford Field. But nonetheless, I would still have to say that Calvin Johnson memory, that one was probably my all-time favorite. Actually, I will say my great stadium memory was they had Barry Sanders come back, and he was super late to his introduction ceremony. And what happened was they had to like bring him through the stadium, and he was like walking through like the outskirts of the stadium where all the fans were with just a couple security guards around. And he walks past me and my dad. We're like, oh my God, that was Barry Sanders. Holy no way. Oh, and young me, I'm like, I gotta say hi. He's awesome. So I run up like 20, way ahead of him. Start the video, wait for him to come, like he's literally like jogging by, and I'm like, yo, Barry Sanders, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. I say something to him, and he's like, he acknowledged me, but he's like, thanks, man. Now, actually, I patted him on the back, too, so that's my claim to fame. I patted or came in contact with Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, so.
So
Never
why
know.
aren't you in the NFL?
I know, it could have rubbed off on me. Like, I need to go out and test my skills.
Run that 40.
Exactly, man. Yeah, make some jump cuts and whatnot. But
Chase some chickens.
chase some chickens, exactly. And yeah, I actually did get one of my buddies texted me right after you said that, Nick, and he confirmed that chasing chickens, true story. So Barry Sanders, if you want to chase chickens, young and upcoming running backs, you might be like Barry. So let's move on to some actual, Detroit Lions topics and notes. We got to the Lions, announcing full capacity, no mask. That was pretty cool. But the one that kind of is popping on me is Ragnow. He's finally gaining some actual, elite hype, in which he got ranked number one center by, I think it was like ESPN's, I forget what it was, but it was like ESPN's NFL executive scouts, all these guys grouped together. And Ragnow came out number one out of everyone. And I think part of his, delayed, rise to number one was because, he's obviously with the Lions. And what's up, Juan? Thanks for joining in. But Ragnow finally getting what he deserves. And so let me ask you this. Do you guys think that Frank Ragnow will keep his dominance as, let's say, a top three center for the next 5 years? Or do you think, this is maybe just kind of, he's not, the best of all time?
I can jump in. I would say, look, Frank Ragnow is literally regarded as one of the best, if not the best center. And you'd like to think that he is going to continue to do that for 5 years. Young, healthy, looks good. The thing that I'm saying, that bolsters it, you assume that, but what bolsters it is the line around him. If I would say Joe Thomas is almost like an outlier, but if you don't ever have a line around you, you're never going to be thought of as the best at your position when it comes to the offensive line. You need a full team. I think that's going to help Frank Ragnow, having Sewell, having Decker, having Jackson, Stenberg, Sternberg, whomever else there. I think that the overall offensive line is going to help, catapult Ragnow to the number one center and beyond.
Yeah, man, I hope so. And, one thing you did mention was the Sewell acquisition. I think the better our whole line gets as a core, the more, this guy, Ragnow's leading this elite line, you'll see coming out. So I think it's, all a matter of time. And, I do believe that Ragnow can maintain, a top three center, proficiency for the next, few years. So what's going on, Adam? Thanks for joining in. Julius, what are some of your thoughts on this? And you agree with, Ragnow getting all this hype? Hopefully. You're muted, Julius.
Julius is like, he sucks. Get him out of here.
I knew that. Yeah, I was saying Ragnow sucks. I was saying what's up, Adam, actually, but I was on mute. Anyways, Frank Ragnow, he's definitely top three. He's solid. He's solidified top three. He was one of the best draft picks from the Bob Quinn regime, in my opinion. He's developed just perfectly. If you can go back in time, he would have been at like a top 10 value at this point. So we got him a little later on in the first round. I'm happy he panned out. I also agree with the point you made, Adam, that the better our line is, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow has an easier job doing what he does best, which is being one of the better mobile centers in the league. He can pull, he can run around. He's a great pass blocker. He gets to the second level in a blink of an eye. Frank Ragnow is, as it stands, probably with Hawkinson, our best offensive player on our team.
And probably the most jersey selling player on the team as well.
Most definitely. He's about to blow up. Definitely. He just made a Pro Bowl. He just made an All-Pro team. Frank Ragnow is a star on the Lions right now, and we need him. He's shown a great job staying healthy, and I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, I believe he's the best center in the NFL right now. Lions fans should be excited to have him.
Definitely, definitely. A lot of good things to come.
That's the line in the game, baby. Ow!
A lot of good things come, not just for Bragnow, but this whole offensive line. But this kind of, I have a question for you guys. This is going to be an interesting one. Brings us to our next topic. And Nick, I know you love these. So if I were to ask you from the final draft of the Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia era, 2020, how many of those guys are starting on the official Lions depth chart? How many would you say?
I have the list too. Okay, 1, 2, 3 of the 2020 draft. 1,
Yes.
2, 3, 4.
Julius?
Not including Jack Fox.
Repeat the question again, Adam.
So out of the 2020 draft class, how many of the guys do you think are starting on the Lions right now?
3.
It is 5, according to our Detroit Lions depth chart, updated as of July 8th.
But that might just be an indictment on how bad the roster is, too.
So it's Swift.
So you got Okuda, Swift, Okora. And right now, Logan Stenberg is our starting right guard.
Yeah.
And then John, I always mess his name up. Pensanini is right now our starting defensive tackle over Anzaworki. So
that'd be 6. Wait a minute. If you're saying Okora too?
Yeah, if you count Jack Fox. Jack Fox is 6.
No. You got first round, Okuda, second round, Swift, third round, Okora, fourth round, Jonah Jackson, or third round, Jonah Jackson, fourth round.
Oh, Jonah Jackson is starting. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's 6. That's hilarious. 7 counting Jack Fox.
7, and then one of them gone, Jason Huntley. He gone.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, hey, maybe Bob Quinn gave us did one good thing for us before he left and gave us a decent draft. But all in all, it's looking pretty good. So that brings us to our next question. Out of, Okuda, Swift, Okora, Jonah Jackson, Logan Stenberg, Quintez, also another guy in that draft class, and Pensanini, who do you guys think is going to take not necessarily be the biggest impact player, but who will make the biggest leap, most improved out of our second year guys?
I'm going to have to say Jeff Okuda. That's who I'm going to have to say, because we drafted him with the 3rd overall pick, not the 30th overall pick, not the 3rd round 30th overall pick, the 3rd overall pick in the 1st round, elite value. He was supposed to be the best corner in his generation. We saw some flashes on the field, but I don't want no flashes in second year. I need that sophomore jump from Okuda. I need him to be locked down, Pro Bowl, all pro, just like Ragnow, just like Hockenson. That's what I need from Jeff Okuda. If not, I'll just cry.
Yeah, I think it's about right, Julius. He's got a high bar set for him, sadly, but Okuda, he does need to do some big.
Can I give a honorable mention to Julian Okwara?
Of course.
Okora, yeah, definitely.
Jeff Okuda, just from where we drafted him, he's the guy who has to make that leap. He got to be on everybody's list, first at the top. But Julian Okwara is an X factor forgotten.
And oh man, I'm totally messing up. So I got to backtrack on this. Julian Okora, I don't think is starting. It is Romeo Okora that's starting for us. So
yeah, I knew it.
That takes one off.
Yeah,
takes one off. So it was what I flip flopped Jonah Jackson and Okora. So either or, 5 starters. That's still not too bad for Bob Quinn, the guru scout. So Nick, who do you think's taking that next big leap?
Great question. Yeah, it's definitely it definitely tells more about our roster than it does Bob Quinn's draft. That's for darn sure. Though I do hope all of these starters become all pros. That is for darn sure. And what if they do become all pros, right? But then we aren't drafting well, and everyone in 2 or 3 years are like, damn it, you should have kept Bob Quinn, dude, and just got rid of Patricia. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but if all 5 of these starters become Pro Bowlers, all pros, we're all gonna be pretty pissed we got rid of Bob Quinn. Just saying. But hopefully Brad Holmes is even better. Anyways, what Julia said over this way was exactly what I was gonna say, which is fun. We're gonna try to ad lib this and go off of the old noggin here. Okuda needs to be the one though. He has to be the one to step up the most. He has to be. He's the one I want the most. He has to be he needs to be locked down, shut down. Darius Slay was not that good his first year. It is okay to be bad at cornerback your rookie season. Just because a few cornerbacks with the Saints and the Bills did it their rookie year doesn't mean you have to do it. It is okay. I understand he was the top cornerback drafted in 20x years. However, second year, Slay made a big leap. And you saw he was going to be shut down. You saw it. That's what we need to see with Okuda. Okuda better be locked down, shut down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's not the guy I want to talk about because we all could sit here and talk about how Okuda needs to be the one to step up. The question is, who do I think is going to be the one that really steps up the most? You like Swift. You like Okora. Like you like Julian Okora. You hope that he comes in and sets a tone with this defense. But here's the thing. I want Logan Sternberg to shore up that fifth offensive line position. Like we got 4 starters, including Jonah Jackson, who I'd love to see a big step forward, but he already had a great rookie year. So just stay course, stay par, Jonah Jackson. Sternberg, who was injured, didn't get his opportunity, listed as a starter, though in no way probably will be starting over Big V or Crosby. But if he does, I want him to just be that anchor. We have that 4 set and he's that anchor. Boom. We just have this offensive line that is just ready to dominate. That's going to lift Jared Goff. That's going to lift DeAndre Swift. That will lift our wide receivers. That will lift our team, our morale, our defense. It will be outstanding. I want Logan Sternberg to be the best guard that the Lions have ever seen. That would be amazing to me because it would just set our offensive line up for years.
It would be nice, I will say. And so right now on our depth chart is we moved Big V back to right tackle. So I guess, that whole guard situation didn't pan out or whatever for now. And then right now behind Stenberg is Tyrell Crosby. So if he can beat out Crosby, which it's showing he is right now, I think that will be a nice first step into, preseason, week 1, whatever. But the guy that I think is going to step up is going to be a benefactor from Logan Sternberg, and it is DeAndre Swift. I think Swift is not going to put up, record-breaking numbers, but I think we're going to see, oh man, this dude is the real deal. He's a top, 7 talented running back in the NFL. He give him as much work as he can handle. This dude is the legit real deal. And I think Swift, just by some of the little things he did last year, take AP off. Granted, we added Jamal Williams, but I think Swift will get a lot of carries, his fair share. And I think he's going to show the Lions that he should have been the first running back off the board and not Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So nonetheless, Swift, all these guys, honestly, I think can make a big leap. Julius, you made an awesome point. Okuda, he's the one that has to. Do I think Swift will do it? Yes. Do I want Okuda to do it way more? Of course. So Okuda, he does probably have not the easiest, but one of the easiest, pathways to the biggest jump, in which he has, I guess, the talent, the top 3 talent, so he could, become an elite lockdown cornerback, but you never know. So,
we also have to remember that Okuda's second game, he went up against Devontae Adams.
He had
and he was on Matt Patricia's defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
You like to think that Okuda,
he faced some tough guys.
And you'd like to think that he's got his feet under him now. He's got his what are they called? The
bearings.
Exactly, his bearings. Exactly. I was saying sea legs. That's the word. I was gonna say sail legs, and I was like, that's not. He's got his sea legs now. He's ready to go. I think we're gonna see a big, huge step up with him.
Well, and then you guys know the main reason why I said DeAndre Swift, right? It's because we're giving away a signed DeAndre Swift jersey right now on our Twitter, Honolulu Blues _. All you got to do is just subscribe to the pod right here if you haven't yet. If you have yet, you're already in. Congrats. But if you haven't, hit subscribe, comment, whatever. Give us some good feedback, bad feedback, whatever. We love it all. But it's super simple. Check out the pinned tweet, and you can enter to win a signed DeAndre Swift jersey. So let's get on. While we're on. Oh, Nick's showing. I like it.
I was just saying, I like jerseys.
While we're on the topic of, I guess the roster, let's dive into these wide receivers, because it seems like we have just a big old group of like C receivers, and some could be, a B receiver, and some are going to be D receivers. It's just who's going to do what. So as of right now, we have our starting right wide receiver is Brashad Perriman. Starting left wide receiver is Brashad Perriman. Starting right wide receiver is Tyrell Williams. And surprisingly, in the slot right now, we have Khalif Raymond over Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think that's just because of, a rookie standpoint, and Amon-Ra wasn't like a highly drafted rookie. He was, I think, like a 5th-round pick or 4th-round pick. So nothing crazy spent on him. But then we have late in the depth chart, we have guys like Chad Hansen, Tom Kennedy, Damian Ratley, Geronimo Allison, Sage Surratt, and Javon McKinley. So, boys, out of all these receivers, give me a couple that you just don't see making the roster come week 1.
There's quite a few that probably shouldn't be on the roster. In fact, of the 10 you named, I believe 9 probably shouldn't be on an NFL roster. But we're going to have to make do and take 6 of them. A couple of the guys that, like you mentioned, Javon McKinley, Sage Surratt. Hopefully we get, Sage to the practice squad. Those 2 guys aren't going to be making it, though, in my opinion. It would be fun to see, Ratley, Tom Kennedy make big splashes in the preseason and training camp and kind of edge their way into it. We've seen Tom Kennedy a couple times and as NFL fans, and Ratley comes over from Cleveland, who has shown a couple good receptions in the NFL, shows that he knows what he's doing. So those guys, unfortunately, probably will be roster cuts, some casualties. But, yeah, that's who I'm going with, those 4.
And I did actually miss a couple guys. That is Victor Bolden and, of course, Quintez Cephas. Don't know how I skimmed over them, but I did. And Victor Bolden, he is the backup right wide receiver behind who is it? Tyrell, I believe. So a lot of, interesting guys on here. A lot of guys that, haven't been anything really close to the wide receiver 1 on their team. I think the closest is Tyrell Williams. He had 1 year where Keenan Allen got hurt the first week of the season, and Tyrell Williams inherited a 1A spot. So it's going to be interesting. A couple guys that, I'm just pretty confident aren't going to be there are, Nick, you mentioned Javon McKinley, Sage Surratt. Don't see a lot of them. Geronimo Allison, I think that year off, I don't think that's going to do him any good for, just being in the Lions. I think a lot of this, too, is who you know and connections. And we heard that from Mike McMahon and a few other guys we've interviewed. So I wouldn't be surprised if Allison got the boot, even if, he was a little bit better than, Victor Bolden or Ratley or someone like that. But all in all, I think pretty much the safe guys are Perryman, Tyrell Williams, probably Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra, Quintez, and I'm not even sure about Victor Bolden. He's just kind of high up on the depth chart, but honestly, he's kind of just been lingering with the Lions these last couple of years. It hasn't really gotten his shot, but who knows? Maybe he will, and maybe he'll do something. So I guess that's one thing I'm looking forward to in this Lions wide receiver group. So Julius, give me some guys who you think will be cut, or give me a couple guys who you think are just locks for sure.
Well, the Lions have advantage. This is one of the reasons I think people are overreacting about the Lions wide receiver room and Jared Goff is having nobody to throw to, because they have so many interesting guys. It's going to drive competition. And as long as, injuries could just totally decimate this wide receiver room, to be honest, 1 or 2 and it just go down. But I look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he out of the slot does a lot of the things that Cooper Kupp was doing with Jared Goff. That quick, short area route running burst, pretty similar to Cooper Kupp as well. I feel like he's going to use Kupp more. He's also going to use Hawkinson more in that mid area of the field, like, those 10, 15-yard outs into drags. Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson are going to be eating those up underneath. Tyrell Williams, Brashad Perryman, they should make the team. Those three are like my three definitely going to make the team. Both of those guys have had some ups and downs in their career. I'm hoping the Lions get more of the ups. Geronimo Allison is another name. He was hurt last year. He could pop out on the scene today. He did a lot of good this year. He did a lot of good stuff in Green Bay, even though that's kind of old news. Khalif Raymond, also quick, can work in the slot, and he can return the football. That helps him out, and that's why you see him starting on the depth chart right now. Chad Hansen, I could see him also breaking onto the team. But Chad Hansen, Khalif Raymond, Geronimo Allison, Tom Kennedy, Sage Surratt, Damian Ratley, and Javon McKinley, the rookie out of Notre Dame, the undrafted rookie out of Notre Dame. He made a lot of plays in minicamp. He could pop on the scene as well. Out of that group, I think Hansen and Raymond have the best shot. I didn't mention Quintez Cephas because he's the wild card. He could be cut. He could be the starting X receiver on the Detroit Lions week 1 for San Francisco. It can go in either direction with Quintez Cephas. I just think it depends on what he does. We've seen guys like him show up to training camp, not impress the new coaches, and fall apart in the preseason and not make the team. And we've also seen guys like him who can get open with his savvy route running and not drop the ball as much as he did last year and make and become a starter on our team because he's making these big plays like he did at Wisconsin. I'm not sure. Quintez Cephas is the big X factor on that list.
But ultimately, Jared Goff is going to have to throw this ball, and it cannot go to TJ Hawkinson, a rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm okay with Hawkinson
so my question is
12 targets a game.
But my question is, how are these boys going to stack up? You know what I mean? Like, we talk about who's not going to make it. Who, like, of the guys we know, Perryman, Tyrell Williams, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Quintez Cephas, like, do we expect any of these wide receivers to surpass 500 yards?
Well, this is the thing. They don't have to.
We'll see one.
They don't have to. Like I just mentioned about St. Brown and Hawkinson, they're going to be eating a lot of those underneath targets and midfield targets up.
They're going to be catching a ton of the linebacker safety double coverage.
Whatever they don't get, whatever targets they don't get, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Hawkinson, Swift and Jamal Williams are going to be getting a lot of targets out of the backfield from Jared Goff. That will leave the Tyrell Williams and the Brashad Perrimans of the world to try to stretch the field on the outside.
Jared Goff was the worst deep ball thrower in the NFL last year. So the question is,
right.
Like, we're going to have to put a ton of our targets under the 5-yard to 10-yard mark.
Play action.
And we're going to have to do a ton, like, we're going to have to drive off of that. Those deep balls with Tyrell, first and foremost, is like 34 or 35 years old, it seems like. I don't know. He might not be, but it seems like he is.
He's 30, I believe, or 29.
Well, it's too old for the NFL. I'm sorry. Especially after missing an entire. That and Perryman.
He's 29.
Like, Perryman has had one successful 6-game stretch in his career. That's it. Like our wide receivers right now, I don't really understand what I'm glad that we have the optimism that we're going to be all right and we're going to have to just force the ball to a rookie, a tight end, and 2 running backs. But the fact of the matter is you can't win in the NFL with that right now. You just can't. Like, you cannot win in the NFL like that. So we have to have one of these wide receivers literally step up and be a wide receiver 1. And I don't know if Tyrell or Perryman can do that.
Honestly, I think Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Oh gosh, we were talking about him earlier, and he gets stuck in my head. Brad Holmes. I honestly think they have come to agreement that they're like, we're not making playoffs. If we do, it's because Jared Goff is a godsend, and if that happens, then we have we're set. might as well take these scrubs, wide receivers, I mean, pick, give them all a shot. And if we find one out of all these, C, D plus players, that's all we need. All we need is one to hit, because next year we're guaranteed high picks. There's going to be a plethora of stud free agents, and I think it's going to be easy to get a 1A. So I honestly think Bob Quinn, my gosh, I keep doing it. This is disgusting.
I think it's a fair argument. I think it's a fair argument for any wide receiver under the age of 26. But we gave these guys 1-year contracts, right, just to come in, be fillers. Yeah. At that point, screw it. I don't want Tyrell or Bishop. I would rather have Tom Kennedy and Damian Ratley running out there in week 1, because honestly, they're probably just as good, if not faster. So it's like, I don't know what we're doing right now. I don't agree with our wide receiver room. I just don't.
I think it's just a crapshoot right now. So it's going to be something to watch for, I will say. But moving on to our last question of the night, we got we had who our second year breakout player would be. So now who is going to be the Detroit Lions breakout player? And you know what? I'm starting off first. Juan, you're getting me riled up. And I'm going Jared Goff. And I bring up Jared Goff, and that's because I bring him up because he's going to have more wins than Justin Fields this year. Hot take. Yes, it's going to happen. Goff's going to play the full season. Fields isn't going to get into week 8, maybe later, and he's going to bust out. So I think Goff is going to take it away with a 4-game margin. We're going to see Fields go like a 3-4, 3-5 type scenario. Andy Dalton's going to be decent enough. I think Dalton's going to get him there. I see Juan laughing, but it's going to happen. This is all saved, recorded. So Juan, we're going to come back to this. Jared Goff's going to have more, not just more wins, but probably more touchdowns than Justin Fields and more passing yards. That honestly could happen. If Justin Fields...
I got breaking news. The Bears are trash. Just in.
I love it.
The Bears are trash.
I love it. We need more Bears fans on here. But
oh God, we would never get any work done. We just sit here and laugh at the Bears fans all our lives. Go have a beer with Sexy Rexy, Juan.
But yeah, so honestly, I think Jared Goff. I think he might not be, the like breakout best player, but I think he's going to be the guy that's going to surprise every Lions fan. And even if you're bought into Jared Goff and you're thinking this guy's going to be decent, get out of here, Juan. I think Goff is going to be a little bit more than what we're expecting. And I will be honest, there's going to be a couple games where we're going to see Goff play very bad, but there's going to be times where we're going to see, wow, when he's surrounded with some good talent, he wasn't touched this entire game, and he had a 140 passer rating with 3 touchdowns or something like that. So I think Jared Goff, he's going to be maybe not, the breakout player like this question was, but most surprising, I'll say. So, Nick, give me your breakout player.
Ooh, I'm excited for this one. I have a lot of them, and I'll get to one. First breakout player, Logan Sternberg. Watch out for him. He's number 3. This kid's going to be a beast. I'm telling you, boys. Like, there's just something about him. He's going to fill the line. It's going to be great. Second breakout player, Alex Anzalone. Woo! Fabio, as I like to call him. Running around with that hair like sunshine. Man, it's like Goldilocks out there just taking the Bears down. I love it. That's my number 2. Number 1, Corn Edler. With a name like Corn Edler, there's no reason you're not the best player in the entire NFL. So I'm all in on Corn popping out this year, shucking off the defenders. I can't think of any other Corn puns, but I love Corn Edler. He's better than Justin Coleman. He is going to be our slot cornerback. He is going to he's not just going to sit there, wait for the wide receiver to catch the ball and then try to punch it out, right? Which worked like twice. And you were like, damn, Justin Coleman. And then you realize that that's all he ever did. And he just like allowed the guy to catch it and then tried to punch it out. And you're like, no, don't do that. Corn Edler is a freaking beast, a name that's unheard of. It's going to be fun to watch him in the slot. He will be a household name. And I'm getting an Edler jersey, but I'm not getting Edler on the back. It is going to say Corn. And it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
So I'm laughing here because, oh my gosh, this just popped in my head. And I wish so bad, so bad that Corn Edler would have come to the Lions a few years ago, because we literally would have seen Corn on the Cobb. And by that, I mean Randall Cobb for the Green Bay Packers. That would have been the all-time
That's
best
true.
matchup ever.
That's true. We would have got Corn on the Cobb.
Do we
I
play
wonder
the
if Corn has
Texans
ever
this
been on the
year?
Cobb. I wonder if he's ever checked Cobb and
Oh, we
The
need to
announcer-
stat check this. I need to have some Corn on the Cob action. Dude. I need that in my life right now.
That's great. That's great. But other than Sir Corn Elder, whatever, I don't know his last name really. But other than him, Julius, give me a couple guys that you think are going to, break out for the Lions.
Well, this is it's not who I want to break out because I go down the Jeff Okuda list and all that. This is players I think that are going to break out right now, pre-training camp, dog days of Lion summer. The players I think that are going to break out. I think TJ Hockenson is going to have over 1,000 yards and a Pro Bowl season. I remember we talked about this too. I think I was the only person that predicted over 1,000 yard over for him going 1,000. I think he's going to have a big year and break out. You could say he broke out last year, but honestly, the tight end landscape was so trash, injuries, COVID. He had a good season, but I want to see a truly elite season. That goes for blocking too. I think he's going to do it. Another guy I think is going to break out on the offensive side of the field is DeAndre Swift. I think it's all ready for him. The offensive line is ready for him. Anthony Lynn is ready for him. And Jamal Williams is going to help him out. I can't wait. I really think DeAndre Swift is going to make the Pro Bowl and be one of the best running backs in football. On the defensive side of the field, who I think is going to break out this year, don't tell nobody. There's this guy named Julian Okwara, right, out of Notre Dame. He was a monster as an underclassman at Notre Dame. Got hurt, fell in the draft to the Lions. I honestly believe he has elite traits, and he's going to be better than his brother as long as he gets on the field and can show it. This is a hot take. You can call it a hot take. I got Julian Okwara breaking out this year. Also on the defensive end, in the secondary, I think Tracy Walker revamps his career from the Matt Patricia debacle that, just totally had this guy out of position, traded away his mentors, Darius Slay and Diggs, and broke him out of the scheme that he worked best in. That's all going to change this season. They're going to make it right for him. He's already talking up the new coaching staff, and I think he has the tools to succeed. Tracy Walker, Julian Okwara, DeAndre Swift, and TJ Hockenson are who I think are going to break out.
Shout out to Julius for dropping the dog days of summer line at the 56th minute. Like, I didn't think we were going to get it in this week. I mean, we're like 4 for 4 in the last month. So
yeah,
good thing for Julius dropping that real quick.
Love it. And guys, this sucks so much. Literally, I looked up Corn and his, when he came to the NFL 2018, Randall Cobb was playing 2018 to 2020. Shout out my boy Zach, my mom for shouting me out. But Corn, he literally missed Randall Cobb. This is so painful. So in 2018, the Panthers, who Corn's team, played the Cowboys. 2019, Randall Cobb went to the Cowboys. And then in 2019, the Panthers played the Packers. So it flip-flopped. And then also in 2019, they played the Texans, who now Randall Cobb plays for in 2020. So unfortunately, I don't think we have ever seen a Corn on the Cobb matchup.
The
Lions don't play the Texans this year, right?
No, oh my God,
they do. That just means
they do. They do. They play them at home, I believe.
What
wait,
week?
no, I have to give
Randall Cobb will be
signed.
injured by week 6, so we need to make sure it's before week 6, or Cobb won't be playing.
Oh my gosh. See, this is how we're going to explode on social media.
This is live
We're beating everyone to the punch on this one because we're going to see a Corn on the Cob.
Can it be?
Wow, man. And the best part, what if they lined them up and they actually just like locked it down the whole game?
Oh, he will, because Corn Edler is about to be a lockdown slot cornerback, and there is no doubt about it.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah, so Randall Cobb he's signed till 2022, so he's still playing for the Texans. So, hold on.
I'm not sure they actually play each other in 2020. I don't think they play each other.
We don't play each other?
Oh, no. Why did I think we played the Texans?
No, I don't think we do. So that's what I was going to say.
We played them last year.
Lions, Texans, Super Bowl. Corn on the cob, Super Bowl. No, that's a thumbs down. The two best teams. The best team in the NFC and the best team in the AFC. The Lions and Texans.
Yes, sir. You heard it here first. Lions, Texans, top 2 teams, Super Bowl. We're going to corn on the cob matchup. It is destined. Go place your dollar bets now because you'll be a billionaire if that happens.
Yes.
But that's all we got for this show. We are going to be back next week with another rockin' episode. As always, you guys can check us out on Twitter at the Honolulu Blues Show and on Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe. If you subscribe, you got a chance to win that signed DeAndre Swift jersey we're giving away. Pin tweet on Twitter right now, so go check that out. A couple things you got to do, real simple. But all in all, you guys got any last comments?
Signed DeAndre Swift jersey. Go on Twitter. This is a legit jersey. You would want it for free. All you got to do is follow us, subscribe. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And also thanks to everybody on Twitter for the kind words after my accident. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate you guys listening, joining the discussion, hitting us up in the comments, retweeting our stuff. We had some big tweets this week, like big tweets, and it's because of our great base that we have on all social media. We love our listeners. This is why we keep doing it. We love what we do. Thank you.
3,000 followers almost on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. We're almost. Yeah, help us get that 3,000.
Help us get to 3K.
3K. Love it. Go Lions.
Go Lions, yes, sir. Yeah. All right, there we go.
Juan, the Bears suck. Get out of here. No, I love
you. That's excellent. Man, I'm trying to see if we play the Texans next year.
We just ending our show right now, or we
don't.
Hey. So wait, do we play the Texans next year? They got to have the teams out.
They do. They have them. We play the Cowboys, not the Texans. Damn.
Shout out to Shelby.
Shout out Shelby.
Yeah, no corn on the cob matchups, unfortunately.
I could only think of those 2 corn puns. You know what I mean? I felt like I was ready to keep going. You know what I mean?
Corn. I don't know. We're just thinking.
It's not happening. We'll play the Texans again. But either way, go Lions. It was a great show, fellas.
End it. Let's go. Love it.